We go. I do believe we are live. So, I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a pleasure it is to have you here again. Today's stream topic is titled How Nature Helps Us Decide, or the way in which nature helps us decide. When I woke up this morning and I sat with my space, it dawned on me that there was sounds coming from the outside. And upon looking through my windows, I noticed that it was raining. It is a rainy day today, which means that there are some things that I probably won't do. You know, maybe won't go on a hike today. Probably. Maybe won't even go riding on my wheel. Maybe it will be too rainy for it. It's definitely cold. It apparently feels like it's -5 out there. At least freezing temperatures. Like it's at the freeze line. But it's going to be freezing temperatures again today. And it has been this interesting relationship with doing that I usually don't have quite as much, right? Like I had a very rough attachment to reality where even if it's going to be a hot day, I would still go out, right? Like it's going to be hot anyway. Might as well, weather it anyway kind of thing. Where here, me and Joe wanted to go on a hike yesterday, and we did. Moving to freezing more. Oh yeah, it's freezing more now. Hoopty hoops. We went out to Patoka Lake yesterday to go on a hike, and then when we got to Tucker's, we went to Tucker's Lake before we went to Patoka, and it basically has like a big body of water, and then it has like this big berm, and then it's like a little bridge slash wall, bridge like a dam wall that then goes down. And as the wind comes over that water and like hits you on that like big wall, it was like so close to freezing. Moving to a freezing place. I'll have to be the one that heats up or something. Hoopty hoops. And then we spend like maybe 40 minutes at Tucker Lake or something, probably less than that, coming to the conclusion that it might be a little bit too cold here for us to be comfortable. And then we continue driving. We get to Patoka Lake. And there is almost this bargaining with reality, right? Like, oh, is it comfortable enough to go on a hike right now? Like we look at the little maps as well to see how long the hike will be. It's like 2.1 miles. The shorter hike, we're like, yeah, we can do a short hike, just at like 2.1 miles. And then we go on the hike and we ended up doing the longer one accidentally. Oopsie. Nice accidents to make. And then even that.
We never even saw how long we hiked, did we?
I mean the boards did put the numbers up, but we did extra. Technically, according to my stats, we didn't do a lot. Still surprising to me.
Yeah.
My yoga apparently adds more strain than the walking. Hey, Adriana and Kid D is here as well.
What's up, Kid D and Adriana?
Kitty, you look nice.
You think I look like a rebel? You think I look like I'm rebelling? Look like I'm about
The jeans matches the blue bones on your shirt.
the heart matches.
The heart matches your shoes. The heart matches your, what do you call that?
Cardigan.
It's a cardigan. And then your cardigan matches your hat as well. Or we call it a missy.
A mussy?
Your missy. It's like a missy with you on it.
I look a mussy?
She looks nice.
Look at my cardigan.
Oh, I mean, you want to come and show the friends what you look like? I can turn the camera around as well. What's up today? There she be.
Hey, friends.
Look at that
Like
cool fit.
Outfit.
It's a pretty cool fit. Nice.
Wanna go though?
Yeah, it's time.
The time is nigh. We can do it, honey.
Love you, Joe. See you soon. Yeah, I have this compulsion to ask you about cooking you something as soon as I see you leave.
Talk about that off the screen.
Right, right. No talking about it. Me and Joe took a nice Epsom salt bath last night after our hike and put some coconut oils in our hairs. And it's changing. It's changing what I'm used to having.
In a good way or bad way?
Like I'm trying to decide still. I think
It
think
like looks together.
it looks pretty together. Yeah, it looks pretty
It like
pretty
it's
fine.
maintaining its shape, and I think it looks healthy in the way that like it's moisturized. Yeah, your hair needs to be like that. I feel
Start coconut oiling it more regularly.
maybe.
Like an everyday kind of thing or once a week kind of thing.
I don't know. Still not every day.
I wonder. I should ask my technology what the acceptable cadence is.
Okay.
But yeah, what's up?
I didn't bring my laptop home, did I?
I think you did. I think it's on the. I think it's on this table. There it is. Yep.
Oh, it's under everything.
Making sure you don't leave
I
it.
feel like I'm hijacking stream. Go back to stream. Sorry.
I want you to hijack stream. Where did I put my freaking tablet? I'm suddenly now scatterbrained here with you. Oh, it's in. Yeah, it's on the washer because we love you, Joe. See you soon. Alrighty, back again. Love you, bye. Nature helps you decide. That is what our stream topic is for today. I see Sam here with us too. Sam, sending you love. I'm in a type of whatever. Welcome to my kitchen, MeltMore. Love to you. Thank you, Dreamtooth, for welcoming me into your kitchen, bro. Kid D is here because this is the season to let the real freaking G's in. I mean, I don't feel like I can disagree with you completely. I do believe that there is a lot more. There's a lot more in store. Let's say it so much. But it's not a matter of not letting people in. It's just a matter of like finding yourself in the space, right? Some places feels right, some places don't. No, I don't want to switch to. I don't really play games much anymore. Dan Gray is here with us too. I've seen the things you like to talk about. You're about as real as the play money and the toy. Savage. Not gonna lie. I'm pissed this morning, Dan says. I got the keys to my apartment and they're only for the actual unit. I have no key, nor did this setup an access code for the front door of the building. That's nice. Now you have to ask someone to buzz you into your own building. And they're being totally unreasonable and nonchalant about it. I've paid nearly 6,000 daras to these people for an apartment that 2 days into the lease I can't even access. Yeah, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be, Dan. Right, especially since the prospect of moving into a new home is an uncomfortable one in general. Wanting to continue to move in or whatever, wanting to find yourself home after you come back from a busy day and not being able to get into your own place, that would drive me insane. Your mods didn't like the stream. My mods love the streams, bro. My mods show up for the streams every day. And I think maybe there's a certain culture in the streaming community right now where, depending on what kind of streamer you are, you let everything come through and then you'll even react to the potentially inflammatory stuff as well. Maybe even I'll lean into, I'll be inflammatory too. And that is like technically I also show up every day. I've noticed, kid. I've noticed. I'm not trying to cast any shade. I'm not trying to cast any shade. I'm gaining perspective here with you in this unfolding, right? So what I've noticed when it comes to like the larger streaming community is that inflammatory comments are kind of encouraged, or at least softly celebrated, right? Because again, it's content. It gives the person something to react to. It gives the audience something to fight against. It has like this whole layer of like nuance that it adds to these streams. However, I don't really know if that's something that you'll get here. You know, I think I'm capable of reacting as much as the next person. It's this weird dichotomy and a balance that we're trying to manage. Is that this space is kind of made for peace. All right, we show up here so that we can bring ourselves a state of peace. There's a lot. There's a lot going on out there. Oh my goodness. I made the mistake of reading the news yesterday. Why? Why did I do that? And again, I'm not going to perpetuate what it is I read. You probably know. Or maybe you don't. And if you don't know, then that's good. And if you do know, then let's forget. Let's forget together and just be present. Just be present with where it is we are. You know? Perspective. What perspective? All perspective, Obi. Have you considered that all perspective is the perspective that is necessary? Including the inflammatory ones. But the inflammatory ones will not cease to be, even if we don't allow them in. And I'm once again in an apartment situation where I have to threaten a lawsuit to get even the most basic parts of the lease honored. We're talking about accessing the fucking apartment. Thankfully, I have months overlap with my current lease, but if I didn't, I would have had to get a storage unit, have the movers take my things there, and then stay in a freaking hotel. I'm pissed too. You're pissed because of his thing, Christy? You're pissed about your own things? What's up? Only to pay movers again later. Again, thankfully not dealing with that, but like, what the fuck, man? Exactly. It's like they don't know that you are in the situation you're in. And generally, not everybody is in that kind of situation. So, like, the level of inconsideration for the process of moving into a new place, is something gonna happen? Do you have to talk to the front office? Like, is there me trying to problem solve here with you, Dan? It's every time. A year ago this time, I had just gotten into my current place after the first one was infested with bed bugs. GBs. Being a renter fucking sucks. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for sharing with us your frustrations, bro. This space might not be able to alleviate all of your frustrations immediately, but at the very least, you know that you'll be loved, right? If anything, I'm just like thinking about like wanting to help. Hopefully you have everything you need by the time you do. Let's say it in that many words. I got surgery done back in October, and now the surgeon is saying my insurance didn't cover it, and I may have to pay. But I called my insurance company, and they were like, "What? We see two bills that were paid." Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if your surgeon is just like, or yeah, your surgeon is just like, yeah, they didn't pay. How about you pay again? See if you do it. Maybe pay again. Maybe try it one more time. Maybe let's see if it's better or something. It's gonna be better for me, Surgeon Man says. And also, hi all. Hey Christy, I'm sorry that you're going through this too, friend. Yeah, medical bills is something that's been a fractal. Oh my goodness. Yeah, America and its medical industry is what's the word I'm looking for? Socially challenged, empathetically challenged. A little bit. Melt, I'm here. I'm saying if you want to know if I know, just ask. What do I want to know if you know? this dog wants to go outside. And I was going down this whole rabbit hole of thinking about something that I might ask. A part of me wants to ask you, do you know how honey is made? You know how honey is made? We got some honey yesterday. Honey is expensive in America. At least if you get the local stuff. There's honey that was produced here in French Lick. It's like 3 miles that way kind of thing. And it is so dark. Like you cannot see through that honey. Not even if you tried. There's so much stuff inside that honey. And I imagine it like a little medicine that I'm giving myself day by day. Maybe I can ask you if that's ever helped you. You have allergies, Hoopy? And if you have allergies, and this is a question that I'm posing to all of you, have you found eating local honey makes a difference? I do get allergies back home in the changes of the season. And I have like grass allergies, I think, as well. So I'm curious to see if I'm going to get more allergies on this side or less allergies because I'm not used to all of the contaminants or potential irritants. Yeah, let me know, Oops. Get asked the question, bro. Do you know? Kind of seems like that was something they should have told you about before they cut into you. Also seems like the surgeon is trying to double dip and needs to get hit with some sort of fucking legal fuck off. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I want to go and poopy outside. You want to go poopy poopies? Is that what you want? He wants the poopy poopies, I'm sure. I want to go and make a poopy poopies. That's what I want to do. He says, is that what you want? You know it's fucking raining out there, bro. And if it's not raining, it's probably snowing. And if it's not snowing, it's probably sleet. And if it's not sleet, it's definitely cold. He says, I don't care, bro. I want to go making them poopers. Please, let me go and making them poopy poopies, please. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll go and take you outside. I'll take you outside in a second. Let me just read these comments, okay? Let me just do it. Yo, man, there is a lot going on. I also have watched the news and also not going to talk about it, Mel. But I am right there with you. Why? Why are things this way? Bro, at this point, I'm just like, the fuck is happening? Like, every time I look, I instantly regret rocking. I must rock other way. Wow. He just yawned, and from his maw came sounds. Dan, the end was a long time coming for that man, and you know it. I only hope they feel so indebted, they feel obligated to do ours too. And that's all I'll say about it. That's I wish I knew what we were talking about and stuff. Yeah. But I remember Bob Dylan's words. Though the masters make the rules for the wise men, the fools, I've got nothing, ma, to live up to. Melt, I got time to chat. Let me know, bro. I wanted a month and sent in. I waited a month and sent in my consent. They called and said, burning. Was good to go. Scheduled my surgery and boom, I get hit with. I have to pay for it if I don't file a grievance. And I sure did. Yeah, the fact that I think that's also what they're bargaining on in some level. Some people have the money, so they rather just pay the thing instead of going through the process of filing a grievance. And I'm horrified to imagine how many people they're getting that way, where it's just like, let's just do it. All right, and then they're just getting extra hundreds, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars or however. Constant moving equals a red flag. Did I ask Lyric Snowy? Oh yeah, he has ADHD and autism. That's a red flag for me. Did I ask? Did I look like I was looking for you as a partner? No? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Sorry. Sorry, I'll sprinkle on some salties. I'm sure it's so much more than, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's again, it's for me, it's an escalation thing, right? Like I was there last year when, you know, the sites go Boblastieth. Boblastieth a person is like a whole other layer. It's like, oh my goodness. Sorry, I meant everything. I meant everything, not burning. Makes more sense. Julie is here. Good morning to you, Julie. I do indeed buy my honey from a honey warlock in my town. He usually sets up shop in the auto shop parking lot and sells mason jars out of coolers from the back of his truck. That sounds fire. That sounds really cool. What do you pay for a jar? We got a big jar, a 1,436 gram jar, which is 3 pounds. I think it's a 3 pound jar. What do you pay for 3 pounds of honey? Tell me the number, Sam. Maybe we'll get a jar from your honey warlock when we're in your town as well. Hey, Mr. Pie Liker. Hey, Joe is here with us too. And the pie guy. Love is true. I love y'all. We love you too, Joe. Honoring our Moon Moon and Hoop De Doo and Sam, Dan, Christopherson Waltz and Kid D and Diggity Darren and Bedell. That's the Pie Man's original name, is true. Hoop says, Melt is great. This local food, local herb, it's just a way to do it if I can talk more on my personal results. But the ancient wisdom backs this up as well. That's what I was thinking, bro. I was feeling into that like ancient wisdom, like eating the things that are as close to the source as possible. It's pretty cold right now, so on that level, I don't know if much of the food I've been eating comes from here directly. I'm very sure that the fruits I've been eating came from some of them South America, some of them California, right? The blueberries at the very least were from California. So local enough, more local to America than I'm used to eating, I guess. However, I think there will be an influx. I would love to be able to source my own protein, right? Straight from the farmer. Maybe we get ourselves like a deep freezer. Because I think like that's the biggest limitation for me right now. Like when you buy small portions of protein, it's so much more. I think meat is between 3 and 4 times more expensive here in America than I'm used to in South Africa. And I am used to eating a pretty high protein diet. And I would like to, in the same breath, source my proteins from locally. There's a bunch of cattle all around us, so I don't think it'll be impossible, but I don't know if they do that. And I have not seen a butcher the way that I'm used to butchers in South Africa. And not only that, but the town that I came from is relatively, maybe only a little bit bigger than this place that I live in right now. I was going to say relatively the same size, but maybe just a little bit bigger. And we have something like, I want to say legitimately like 5 butchers that do everything. They will hang your cattle in big freezers. They will cut it up and portion it for you in pieces. They go through the whole 9 yards. And I don't think I've seen a single one of them here. Maybe people don't like it as much here. Do people like the butchers? Maybe it's not a very glamorous job either. It is pretty rough. But yeah, the way that nature decides, right, helps you decide things. Nature also helps us decide what we eat in that way. So I'll say that, and then we'll put the food talk down. Come back to chat. I want the next 2 weeks to go quickly, y'all. Pray for me. Dear God, Dan wants the next 2 weeks to go quickly. He is having some troubles with them not giving him access codes to his apartment building that he's already paid for. May his troubles melt away, and may he find himself with pockets full of swaggart. Amen. Gotta find where he'll be this year first. Ain't seen him yet. Might be around late March or April. It was $5 for a small pint jar and 10 for a big one. Like you'd put nice. That is really nice. We paid 30. We paid 30 for one of those big ones. Yeah. I was like, oh my god, $30. Like you can get 20 pounds. I'm pretty sure I've seen 20-pound buckets, literal buckets of honey in South Africa for $30. We got one that you can hold in your hand. It should last me 3 months. I estimated I eat about 5 grams of honey a day. All right, maybe even more than 3 months. Let's see. Let's see if I do quick maths. I'll round down a little bit as well. Divide by 5. 280? No way. No way. Is that true? Should it last me 9 months? We'll see. We'll see if it does. It is the 2nd of March. If I've gotten more honey before June or July, that is problematic, right? At least after June and July. Let's see. I think it's one of those things where it's like, yes, I only eat 5 grams. Puts in 15 grams a day by accident. Oopsie. Melted. It's possible for you to show all the pets miss you, Zhao. This noodle. He's an old dude. He just does what he wants. Whenever he wants, pretty much. And then there's Zoburb in the cage, but he's being good, so I'm not going to disturb him. I'm pretty sure he gets into his own like meditative states where he's just like preoccupied with his own mental state and his own space. I like redecorated his cage yesterday, put like a bunch of new stickies in, and then interlocked and crossy the sticks so that he has like multiple perches, and then twirled rope around one of his sticks so he has something to stim on if he wants to. So yeah, he's a happy bird, but I want him to stay happy so that we don't get disturbed. All my honey comes from either the next town or the next country. My cousin does bees, but I never asked him for the sweet. Why not? Why not? Oh, does your cunny harvest the cousins? Hoop the hoops? Does he? Does he honey's harvest? And if he honey's harvest, then you should like hit them up. How far away is he? That's cool. My cousin had a bee farm before. Look at it. My cousins, weirdly enough, technically is my dad's brother, but he has kids, and those are my cousins. They also do honey on their farm. We would get honey from them as well. Lots of honey. Like, I think they gave us like 5 pounds of honey the last time we got honey from them. I like honey. I like honey a lot. I would legitimately, if I had to go traveling, like imagine me riding my EUC in a direction, right? If I had to like pack myself an emergency meal, I would pack myself a jar of coconut oil and then a jar of honey. And then I will survive. Maybe it would be nice if I had a protein powder, give my body something to build with. But if it's just purely survival, I can live off honey and oils. I could do it. Take a spoonful of oil, a spoonful of honey. Melt, you're insane. I'm serious. No, I would definitely do that. I have eaten honeycomb. Remember that video or / live stream of my dad harvesting honey and him having his ass beat by the bees? He did harvest a lot of honey. I think he harvested like 20 pounds, if not more, worth of honey. And most of it was kept in the combs. And I would eat a third of a pound, sometimes a day. I really like it. It was one of those things where it was like these addictive spirals as well, where I cut myself a comb of honey and then I eat the whole thing. And then I go and got myself another one. And I would be like, surely I'm going to get sick of this. Surely it's going to eventually hit me. And I'm going to be like, okay, I'm all honeyed out. Nope. Doesn't happen. It just like, keeps like, yeah, do it. Keep doing it. And a part of me felt like that was happening because I needed to. That's the other part of it, where in this spiral of consuming a copious amounts of honey, I go, this is good for me. It must be good for me. I want to do it so much because it has to be good for me. Surely it's good for me what I'm doing right now. I want to be a beekeeper. They're in demand, and it sounds like a peaceful life. I think in America it's a pretty peaceful life, relatively speaking. I don't know honey beekeepers were in demand. I could definitely see myself doing something like that as well. Exactly. I want the swagger loosely stored in my pockets, not in the tube. I can just reach in for a scoop at my leisure. Yes, where you go like this. You go like this inside your own pockets. And then you... Yep, one of those. You know, you can have like style with it. You can even do like one of those where you keep the swagger in your hand. My parents have food for me. That's nice. I wonder if I'll be back in time for the cart. But I'll say, till next stream. We love you, Hoops. Send love to your parents as well. It's nice of them to bring you some food. I've been thinking about beekeeping too. Husband is not convinced this hobby would be a good fit for me. It may have something to do with my compulsive need to know things. I mean, I feel you could be good at it, Sam. I don't think this like I'm like projecting a little bit, but if you have a compulsive need to know things, I don't think keeping bees would be too much, right? You would get in a spiral of wanting to find out everything that you could know, but I feel like you would know most of what you needed to know sooner rather than later, kind of thing, right? Right? Am I mistaken? My cousin is just in the next town. I get my honey usually from that town's farmer market. Sounds good. You remember that live stream of your dad getting attacked by bees? Every day shit was wild. I'm happy that you remember that reminiscently. Like the amount of experiences that this stream has captured, you know, sometimes by accident as well. Yeah, that stream was funny. You friends did laugh. That's so much honey, bro. I don't get it, Lamar. I can't eat honey straight. It's nice as a sweetener, but not just straight up. I don't know what's wrong with me, Dan. I don't know what to say to you, bro. I agree with you, right? Like, I don't have the same compulsion of sugar. If I like, I have done this, full disclosure. I have put a spoonful of like granulated sugar just straight in my face. But I usually do one, and then I'm like, okay, that was enough for me. Thank you. But honey, honey, I can just eat with a spoon. That was an excellent slurp sound. That's exactly how I do it. You see, I know. I'm pretty knowledgeable, actually. I know how people would scoop yogurt out of their pockets and bring it to their face to slurp up. I'm pretty traveled, you know. I'm pretty sophisticated. You straight up eating sugar too? No, I don't know. No, I don't do it a lot. It's one of those things where if I get in like a like an insulin spiral crash, right? Then I'll suddenly have the compulsion to like eat a whole spoon of sugar. But then it's like I stop myself. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's nice actually. But honey is like, no, I can that I can just eat with a spoon. I can eat a whole pound of cheese straight, not sugar, not honey. Yeah, cheese is also a hard one for me. I did keto like extensively at one point in my life, and cheese was one of those safe foods, right? It's basically just protein and fats. So I would eat copious amounts of cheese, but I would reach a limit, right? Once I reach like half a pound of cheese, 200 grams, right? It's about half a pound. I would be like all cheesed out. I'd be like, okay, that was enough for me, and I can just stop. What can I eat copious amounts of? I can eat copious amounts of fruit as well. Watermelon or apples or blueberries or strawberries, pineapple. Just drink kiwis. Absolutely decimate kiwis. And then proteins as well. I'm also very gravitating towards. And then, I don't know if it's excess. I guess it would be. I have, unfortunately, eaten 3 whole bags of chips or potato crisps, as you call them in America, right? Ruffles or whatever. I don't think they're like ruffle size bags though. That's the difference. They're like 120-gram bags, so quarter pound bags. But I've eaten 3 of them in a single sitting, and I hate myself when I do. Just for what it's worth, I feel horrible. I regret it. I don't think it's worth it afterwards. But it's also one of those things where if I get myself in a spiral, and that's in part reason, right? Like I'm almost like sharing with you friends some of my old behaviors. I don't do it as much anymore. At least I've gained a lot more of a healthy relationship with food, I feel, in the last kind of like 5 years. Weirdly enough, with you friends, but there was a lot of instances where I was in that way, not taking very good care of my health. And then we would do these streams, and I would talk about, whatever. And it would sometimes be this trigger point for me where I would have to consider my relationship with food, or uh, I would be hungry. Those kind of two things, and it was a trigger point for me. I feel better about it these days. I'm wondering what really changed. I think I stopped being a young man, to be completely honest. I went from always needing energy, like the teenager fractal, to having energy a little bit better. Heinz peanut butter jar and favorite spoon. I have absolutely nothing to add to this conversation. Yeah, peanut butter is also one of those for me, actually. Sam. Yep. Okay, the food talk. A whole bag of chips, one sitting, and not sweet stuff. Bro, three whole bags of chips, dude. And I'm not joking. I would sometimes, and like I could like count it on my one hand, at most my 2 hands, of like the amount of nights that I've done that on. But it is like one of those things where I'll literally carry 2 bags of chips towards where I'm gonna be sitting. All right. And then after I finish the one, I'll just open another and like, oh my goodness. I'm like looking at that version of me. The worst part is when I'm in that state, I don't even think I really enjoy the food that I'm eating. It's just a compulsion kind of thing. I usually get myself into this emotional tizzy, and then I start eating about it. All right. And then the eating is almost just the information that I deafen the other information with. Right. And then that's why I'll get into like one of those fractals of just continuing to like eat 3 bags in a row, because I don't want the information that's overriding my processing to stop. So it's like I'm not even enjoying it. I'm doing it because I'm escaping, you know, my own nature or whatever. Yeah, being a human, being a human body. It's definitely very resilient, this thing that you are. Sure, your body will appreciate being taken better care of. Eating cheese gives you the same dopamine hit as heroin and cocaine. That's an actual fact. I don't actually know if I believe that. I know it activates the same neurons, but I don't know if it gives you the same dopamine hit. Like that seems a little bit far-fetched. Right. I can imagine it activating the same kind of neural pathways, right? The addiction centers, and the dopamine comes with it, but it's a concentration thing when it comes to those stuff, like how high the peaks are. It's literally the same, dog. Google it. I think this is going to be one of those moments where one of us is going to learn something. And I think I already know. Me and my friends are discussing how eating cheese releases the same amount of dopamine as heroin or cocaine. Can you confirm or deny? Maybe give us some context on what is accurate, depending on how cheese affects our neurons. Yes, cheesy neurons. Let's see what it says. Yep, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do what I did. Listen, Dan. Listen, it's gonna say it.
While I hate to be the one to lower the excitement at the cheese board, I have to deny that claim. The idea that cheese is literally as addictive as heroin is a classic example of a scientific study being stretched into a viral headline. Here is the context on what is actually happening in your brain when you eat cheese. 1. Where the heroin comparison came from. The myth largely stems from a 2015 University of Michigan study. Researchers looked at which foods people find most addictive using the Yale Food Addiction Scale. What the study found: highly processed foods with high fat and high glycemic loads like pizza were at the top of the list. How it was reported: because pizza contains cheese and cheese contains a protein called casein, media outlets jumped to the conclusion that cheese is dairy crack. 2. The science of casomorphins. When you digest cheese, the protein casein breaks down into smaller fragments called casomorphins. The opioid connection casomorphins combine to the same mu-opioid receptors in the brain that drugs like heroin or morphine target. The reality check, the hit from casomorphins, is incredibly weak compared to actual drugs.
Yes.
While heroin or cocaine cause a massive unnatural flood of dopamine, essentially hijacking the system, casomorphins produce a very mild, subtle reward response. Evolutionarily, this is likely nature's way of ensuring baby mammals stay attached to their mother's milk to survive. 3. Cheese versus hard drugs, the brain gap. To give you an idea of the scale, hard drugs force a dopamine surge that is up to 1000% above normal levels, physically rewiring your brain's reward circuitry after just a few uses. Cheese triggers a standard pleasure response, similar to other high-fat, high-calorie foods. It's more about reward than addiction.
Yeah, that is what I was saying, right? So it is activating the same neural pathways, but it's the concentration, right? The level of like spike. If you could see it like a chart, right? Oh, getting dopamine. You know, maybe you make your bed, maybe you get your coffee, maybe you know, have a partner and share intimacy, and you'll get these dopamine spikes. And then the cheese will also dopamine spike you. But then if you do hard drugs, that spike is so far off the charts that all of these other spikes that you experience throughout your day relatively seem menial, right? Like they lose their illustriousness, their je ne sais quoi, their good stuff, right? That's, for me, weirdly enough, one of the biggest sale points for not doing hard drugs. It's like, yeah, I actually like my life the way it is. I don't know if I want to reset my baselines. Reset my baselines extremely high, and then suffer my reality as a result of it. Ooh! More videos? High temperature performance test. I like batteries. I like batteries. Batteries are cool to me. And there's new battery technology being released as we speak. They're probably making them at scale right now. Making them at scale. Mini batteries. Hey, Gabs! Hey, dude. Hey, Gabs. We're talking today about the things nature allows, or the way nature affects our decision-making kind of thing. All right? Like, Zoe Bird is saying hi. Hey, Zoe! We're hearing you, bro! We're hearing you. I'll come and say hi in a second. Let me give you a second. My coffee is finished just before 10. Love that. Let's see. Hey, dude. Let's see, Zoe. Let's see. What a good girl. You a good girl, Zoe. You a good girl? Look at this light. Look at this light. Wow. Hello. You want to say hello? Good girl. You a good girl? Zoe. 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 He's molten. He's definitely going through his... You want a cookie? Yeah? You want a cookie, Zoe birdie? Okay. I'll bring him an almond. Let's actually give him a blueberry. A lower calorie. You want a cookie? I'll bring you one. Let me put this down. Yeah, that's a shot. You want a cookie? I'll get you a cookie. Ooh, what's this? You want some bloobs? You want some bloobs? Mmm. Mmm. You want some blueberries? Look at that. Mmm. You want this? There you go, Zoe birdie. Mmm. Is that good? Is that good, birdie? I see you ate your food this morning. That's good. I've been putting this stuff called Feathered Up in his food, which is like it's essentially like a birdie multivitamin. He does get most of his vitamins from his like little food as well, but putting that vitamins on his food, he ate it the first couple of days, but I don't think he's super stoked about it anymore. There you go, Zoe bird. Good girl. Good girl. There you go, Zoe. There you go. All right. I put the blueberries away. And I go back inside. No, can't do that. You can't just scream about your problems. Or I wish I could just scream. I did give you some, didn't I? I did. Pretty sure I did give you some. What a good girl you are. You're right. You're a good girl, Zoe. It's very convincing. Bird is very convincing. I want to give more cookies. But he's already had some almonds. And I do want him to finish his food. He did eat more of it today, at least. I'm at work. Got my employee number. It happens to start with 27. Why am I not surprised, Gabs? The universe is giving you more affirmation that you are, in fact, in the right place. Breathing this state of relief, and this change is coming for you, with you, bro. Hello! Are you a good girl? Are you being a good girl in there? Hello! Maybe I'll... Hello! Are you a good girl, Zoe? You want... Oh, he probably just wants an almond. I think that's what's happening. Hello! Are you a good girl in here? Oh, you a good girl? Let me get you another one, shall I? You want something good? You want something good, Zoe? You want a cookie? Yeah? You want a cookie? Okay. I'll get you one more, all right? You want a cookie? Yeah, here we go. There we go. You want one of these? You want a cookie? No. If I open this up for you, would you get yourself some? There you go. There you go. Ah. Get yourself some more? You can get more? You happy with just the one? Oh, you got two. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's good. Good girl. Is that good? Is that good, Zoe? Is that good? You like that? You want one more? I'll give you one of these half ones. There you go. Have one more. There you go. Good girl. I'm gonna go bye-bye now, okay? You be good. You be good, okay? You be good. Okay, Zoe? Bye-bye. Gab celebrating. Nice. I do like those synchronicities, bro. They feel so special. I don't know if you know this, Gabs, but every time I see the number 27, I do think about you. Sometimes the colors, I do color correction process on my flowers every day. And then as I'm moving my sliders, right, it has a scale from 1 to 100. Sometimes it'll end up at close to 27, and then I'll set it at that, imagining myself integrating you friends into my work. Joe's number is 34. I had a lucid dream this morning, and I flew like Iron Man, propelled by my palms and feet. Were you wearing a suit, or were you just flying? It's interesting to hear the kind of dreams that Gobs has. I feel like I've been dreaming very like mild dreams, to be completely honest. Like not too wild of dreams. Very relaxed technically. I also had sleep paralysis and something was squeezing me by my ribs. Very painful. I don't know if that's happened to me before. I get this thing where I sometimes see something like a sharp point in my back, where it's like feels like something is poking me. And I've had a sleep paralysis experience once where I felt like there was this entity on top of me, pushing my body down into my bed. I was not having a good time waking up from that experience. And then I've had like inception dreams once where I realized I became lucid that I was dreaming. And then I woke up. And then I was in my bed, lucid. And then I realize I'm dreaming. And then I wake up, lucid. I'm dreaming. And then I wake up. And then after it happened like 4 times, like literally 4 different layers of me going through that. Oh, I'm sleeping. Let me wake up about it. I'm still sleeping. Let me wake up about it. I'm still sleeping. I started screaming. I was like, oh no, I think I'm stuck. I think I'm stuck. And I started screaming. And I could hear my physical body. I could, in that dream, in that lucid dream state, I could hear myself screaming what sounded like above, right? Like I was at the bottom story and I could hear someone screaming on the top floor. I could hear myself, and I knew instinctively it was my body screaming. And then I almost like found the screaming version of myself, and then I woke up into my actual physical form again. I haven't had many dreams like that, but I don't know if I want more. I was wearing my skin, flesh, bone suit. I'm not gonna ask anymore. I'm scared now. Wait a second. I'm aware sleep paralysis can be used to catalyze lucid dreaming. During one sprout of rib-breaking paralysis, I became aware and set my awareness to the moon. Sounds pretty cool. Hoopy is still here. It's like you have a volume knob and you keep turning it up to where at the end of your stream, you are so impossibly loud. That's not supposed to happen, Hoopty Hoops. This thing is set a little bit louder, right? Because I remember some of you friends let me know that it's too soft. So I did up the gain by 6 decibels, which does technically mean the signal being sent into my phone is twice as loud as it used to be. And I don't know if YouTube has some sort of algorithm where it like starts my stream off quietly and then it ups the volume. You should be able to volume control yourself as well. Do let me know if you want me to drop the noise floor or the gain on the entire audio. I'm gonna hear myself for a second, maybe even. How loud is that? How loud do I be? How loud is that? How loud do I be? It sounds fine. It's not crackling. It takes like a win to me at the very least. The entity is you, sweetie. Just give it a little kiss. It seems like there's a typical anxiety dream, the way you describe it. I have had many. Yeah. Yeah. It's either like that, but usually my anxiety dreams, if we're going to label them that way, are very high stakes in nature for me, where I'll find myself in this intricate space, and this intricate space will have intricate rooms, and these intricate rooms will have intricate rules. And if I follow those rules adequately and with efficiency, then I'll escape it in order to get into the next room that has the same and completely different complexity and set of rules and like ways of being. And it's like arbitrary stuff. Like I'm supposed to sit on like my one ass cheek, pressing my back up against the pillow that's in the corner of one of the couches that stands in the room. I'm like dead serious. Like I've been stuck in dreams like that, where I'm like pacing through a space, trying everything, and then eventually I'll sit like this, and then the room cracks open. I'm like, how does that make any sense? Why is that the way that I escape? Seems like there's a typical, I think I read it one. Indeed, I've been there. You gotta go Super Saiyan and blow it all up with your energy. That might be it. Escape the construct. I just don't dream at all, y'all. I mean, I think me and Gobs are on the same train, Dan. I definitely have less dreams than I would have if not. But yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's just a matter of like recall. It's not a matter of dreaming or not. It's just you're detaching that part of your brain that prioritizes remembering them. Okay, we've been here for an hour, pretty much. I think I'm gonna play us some kalimba. Give us something calm. Then I'll pull a card. I'll show you the flower before I do all of that, I think. It's so like dark looking out there. Okay, this part last. This part first. I close this. That is nice. I do like my flowers. Okay, I'll show you too. So much I dream all the time still. Had like 3 just last night. And again, you probably have more. Those are just the 3 that you remember. Our brains are very complicated things. Greens, blues, and oranges. Maybe a little bit of a pink as well in there somewhere. Very nice. I titled it Dropping the Stakes Might Be What It Takes. That might be what it takes, dear friends, is for us to drop the stakes, but nobody wants to admit. Nobody wants to be the first person to drop the stakes. And it makes sense, right? The stakes are world domination. Everybody wants to dominate the world. Oh, my heart dies. That's nice. Everybody wants to dominate the world. Not everybody gets to. And as soon as we drop the stakes and realize that it's more important for us to manage our own spaces, right? Get quality of life better in the immediate vicinity for all of the people in the immediate vicinity, because those are the real stakes, right? They're lower stakes, but they're realer stakes. I have been abstaining for over 3 weeks. It's true for the gerb. I'm dreaming too much, too intensely. It's probably what's waking me up at the night, which is happening many times today as well. Yeah, Gabs, I think that you're right. I remember you telling me that, but I kind of spaced on that information a bit. That's gonna definitely do it. Like at this point, like when I take my months off, it is intense. Like intense. Like one of those where it, as you said, like you kind of look forward to it chilling out and you not having to deal with as much anymore. It's like, please have mercy on me, please. Oh, I'm taking a break for today and tomorrow, perhaps Wednesday as well. It'll be good for you. How much is too much, Sam? How quickly do you go through an eighth? An eighth, that's of an ounce, right? And I think it's like 23 grams. 23 grams for an ounce. Let me just make sure. Give me mass. Give me peons. Give me ounces. Give me grams. Yeah, 28.34. 0.34 divide by 8, 3.5. That will last me a week, I'd say. Yep, about a week. In an ounce. For me, that'll be like a week. Sometimes longer. Yo, actually, yeah. I say a week. A week would probably be the right number. No, not right now, Tyler Kudu. Appreciate your curiosity. It's still very early in the day, and I prefer not to start my day that way, right? I have found that it doesn't really change necessarily the way my day goes, but it does change the way I feel as my day goes, right? I kind of try to postpone. I do believe that there is some wisdom in following the 420 rule, even though I'm not always very good at following rules in general. But right now, the only thing in my system, literally, is coffee, which is also technically a substance that affects your brain chemistry. It plugs all of your adenosine receptors, convincing your brain that there's nothing to be tired about. What are you tiring about? We're just starting to break apart adenosine triphosphate and produce all of the waste chemicals. All right, the day has only started. My husband and son got sleep paralysis all the time. Ugh. Wonder if that's a genetic thing. The fact that your son gets it and your husband gets it too. And the fact that I'm guessing you don't get it. There is a certain part of me that likes to entertain the idea that when you're in a space with a certain type of person, the quality of your dreams and then maybe even the frequency of your night terrors might increase. I've noticed when I'm close to Christian, we both have an increase of dream intensity, right? He's also a very dreamy person, in the way where he dreams a lot, and his dreams are usually very almost like psychedelic in nature, like trippy stuff that he dreams. And then when I, am close, right, sleeping in the other room, I feel like that mind field affects me too, kind of thing. You ever think about that, Christy? Gosh, before I had a kid, I was blowing through a half a half an ounce every week. I think maybe I'm smoking an eighth a week now, maybe more. I just don't have the time anymore. Yeah. And I think it also doesn't help that you're combusting. I think it helps me a lot, right? Like I thought about how much 3.5 is. 3.5 is 35 Dynavaps. You can do 30. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do any of that. I'm right here. coming down in rain. I need to take the dog out. Can you chillaxio, bolaxio for me? Definitely is. Don't have the time. Here we go. Christy advises them to wiggle their fingers and toes to exit sleep paralysis. That could be a good one. Around the same vibe. Eighth in 1 week. Yeah. Not nothing, but it's not, I feel, too excessive. I have friends that would easily do basically a half ounce a week, right? Like a gram a day, which is no, not an eighth, not a half an ounce. Like it's two eighths, right? A quarter of an ounce a week, and it's like basically rolling themselves little tubulars. I thank my lucky stars. I had someone to teach me apothecary tables. The village does its job when you allow it. Pretty cool. I don't know what that means, Sam. Maybe you need to teach me too. Next level strategy is to use their imagination to create lucid dreamscapes when they realize they're in sleep paralysis. Nice. It's true. Take control, make it fun. Like if I'm gonna hallucinate, I might as well hallucinate nice things. I can't do anything more than that, and if I do, the pollen on the plant makes me a sneezy boy. I also get like a little nose tickly. For real, I get like horrible allergy attacks. It's terrible. Sometimes I'll sneeze, but I don't get horrible ones. Very interesting quirk though. There's not supposed to be pollen on your plants though. That's the other thing, Dan. Technically, I think it's terpenes affecting you, not pollen. Because if you're a good grower, relatively speaking, and I think most of the bud people have access to in America is grown by people that are professionals, you're not supposed to have any male plants anywhere close to your females. And the males are the one that produce pollen. But I think it might be terpenes. I'm willing to find out with you. We're having a conversation about cannabis and how there can be this nose itchy or sneezy experience that comes with it. Is that something that is affected by the pollen on the plant, or is it the terpenes having a sharp sensation on the nasals? I have a whole town I go to when I sleep. I know the layout like the back of my hand, but sometimes I get dumped in there and I can't break out of the dream mode to freely explore. Shit's weird. It's almost like it's a space for you to learn, right? That's the way I feel as well about mine. I used to, but I haven't for years. Now my dreams are just so vivid. Nice. Have you ever heard of Mole World, Gab? Do you get dreams like that? I'm back. Welcome, kid. Do you have a dog? Have is relative, right? There is a dog here. Joe rescued this dude from people as well, something like 5 years ago, and he was old even at that point. He's mostly fine. He's very deaf and very blind, and he'll literally run face first into the cupboards. What do you call it? I think we call it cupboards in South Africa. Not drawers, the ones with little doors, right? He'll run into those. As he's walking underneath the table, he'll hit his head against the table's, structure. So he'll hit his head. Like he's not all there, but he's still here. For now. For now, he is dog. Being dogging. Cabinet. Yeah, that's what you call it in America. Cabinets. Or no, we call it cabinets. Closet? No, surely not. You don't call the kitchen, you don't call them kitchen closets, do you? They're cabinets. Cabinets are like lower body kind of thing, right? It's a lower body thing for me. This is a beautifully nerdy question. Thanks for all of the sycophancy. First principle, most of what you're smelling in cannabis isn't pollen, it's terpenes. Yeah, I know that. Pollen is produced by male plants. I know that too. The nose itchy sneezy sensation is very likely is very unlikely to be cannabis pollen. Let's talk about the chemistry. Cannabis releases volatile organic compounds called terpenes. These are small aromatic molecules that evaporate easily and interact directly with the mucous membranes in your nose. All right, y'all. I have to make an angry call to the realtor. Talk to you tomorrow, Dan. Love you, bro. Thank you for breathing deep with us, bro. The last time I had sleep paralysis was before I had kids. I took a nap on the sofa and heard the basement door open and felt something smack my face. Not fun. I can imagine, Mork. If Gobbledygoo was here with you, he might get a crack out of that. So you're saying that the dog is a crackhead? He's cracking his head, I'll tell you that. But yeah, that's it. It interacts with the mucous membranes in your nose. Some of them are biologically irritating in small ways, but not dangerous, just stimulating. There's a pinene found in pine trees and rosemary. It's sharp and resinous, and it can feel prickly in the nasal cavity. Then there's limonene, bright and volatile. High concentrations can almost feel fizzy in the nose. And then there's chirophyllene, which is spicy and peppery, that can activate receptors linked to inflammatory pathways. And then there is terpopinolene, which is fresh and herbal, and sometimes described as slightly sharp on the nose. The more you knows, am I right? Everybody starts picking up stones to stone me to death. It's like, we don't do puns here, Melt. How dare you? I'll show you the flower one more time. And then I'll play some kalimba. And then I'll pull a card. Womp. Sometimes dropping the stakes is what it takes. Right. And now I'll play some kalimba. I'm gonna do it here. I'm trying to find a spot from my microphone. If I put it on my kalimba, it mutes some of my notes in a way that I don't appreciate. Maybe I'll do it like this. feel like I am definitely a little bit rusty. I need to practice more. Get to know these. Thank you, my little Kalimba. Thank you, Zhao, for the gift. Hi. Cute. Isn't it nice? Little Kalimba. Marimba, depending on who you ask. Stream isn't broke for me. Nan came in and the stream immediately broke. Ah, Kalimba. Hey, Nancy. It's nice having you here, friend. Finishing today's stream off on a gentle note. Stream isn't broke for me. I'm happy to hear that. Are you behind, Tooth? How would I know? The red ball is at the end of the red rope. The kalimba is ringing beautifully by Melt Hands. Thank you, Hoopty Hoops. Hope you appreciated the gentle sounds. It's nice to share these gentle friends. Gentle sounds of you, gentle friends. It's now time for me to pull a card for us. Very vibious. Completely bo-vibed. And there's no time for us to pull a card. If there's enough request for a little bit more kalimba at the end of stream, maybe I could play some more if there is a need. But what I need from you is for you to tell me to stop. If you feel the compulsion to say stop at any time now, you just send that stop in chat. And as soon as I read your stop message, my thumb will stop moving these cards. And the card that I'm touching will become the one that I select. We'll do a little reading, give ourselves a little bit of a centering thought, or just a little bit of a call to awareness, for us to think about what the world has in store, what we've been doing with our own time, how the synchronicity of this world might be affecting us. Sometimes these cards feel extra poignant, like they're directed directly at you, specifically you, the one that just told me to stop. Message trickling through the internet, finding itself right there. Thank you, Nancy. Nice card. Nice card that you got, Nancy. You just pulled Gaia Grid. Mama Gaia is an entity holding the earth. Card number 58. I will read for you what it says. It is titled Earth Wisdom and Fellowship. And I think I might have pulled it upside down. Maybe. I'll keep it up here. I don't think it's going to stay, but I think we can do it like that. Several cultural traditions identify energy grids within our planet. Gaia is the consciousness of Mother Earth. Here seen holding the planetary grid in her bountiful lap. The Earth grid or the Gaia grid is associated with geomancy, ley lines, and the unified field theory. The geometry is most often represented as a dodecahedron and embodies fellowship, community, and our collective unconscious. This morning, Jo mentioned that she doesn't glamorize the idea of me having a job because she sees my job as building this community, right? Facilitating a space for this community to show up in. So this card feels extra poignant to me. Thank you, Nancy. Highly activated vortices and sacred sites abound at places where these geometries intersect. Migration routes and tectonic shifts move along these paths of energy. By pulling this card, you are asked to view the way energy moves and to observe the choices in your life that strengthen or diminish your energy. What brings you to your fullest potential, and where does that happen? There are places where you will feel comfortable, and those that may seem to sap your power as you choose a home on planet Earth. The energy grid, on planet Earth, and unite with the Earth's wisdom. You will activate your place on the planetary grid and realize resonance with the spirit of place. Me and Joe had a conversation about the spirit of place just yesterday too. Fellowship can be seen as a means of connecting you through personal contact, travel, or technology to people and information that will show you exactly what you need to learn and experience at this moment in time. And the reversed meaning that we pulled goes as such: not all who wander are lost. Not all who wander are lost, dear friends. Not all who wander are lost. What an apt card. It feels very true to what I'm going through. I'm not lost. I'm just wondering. Thank you, friends, for being on this wandering, meandering path alongside me. It is a pleasure to find ourselves present, participating in this space again. I hope you friends are well, that this Monday morning sends you into your week with a gentleness that's only going to continue unfolding. More and more gentleness still on its way, more and more peaceful breaths, more and more nature, maybe forcing us a little bit to take it easy again. I appreciate you, friends, for being here with me. See you again tomorrow, okay? Thank you for joining me. Until we do it again tomorrow. Goodbye. Love you, dear friends. Ta-ta. Peace.